Good evening, one and all. We welcome you all to the international webinar series on holistic health, well-being, and sustainable development 2024, commemorating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, nation celebrating 76 years of independence and United Nations Sustainable Development Goals 2015 to 2030 as part of awareness and campaigns in collaboration with Sri Holistic Health Foundation India and Sri Research Institute Center for Art, Sciences and Wellbeing. Before we start our sessions, let's take the blessings of Almighty.
कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः
With the blessings of Almighty, we shall continue with today's commemorations. Today, we are commemorating World Mangrove Day, which is celebrated on July 26th each year. Since 1980, we have lost half of the mangrove forests. Some countries have lost more than 80% of the mangrove population. Mangroves grow in tropical and subtropical coastal areas. They can withstand high salinity, tidal flooding, and low oxygen levels. This is the reason that only 110 species have been categorized as mangroves that can grow in the saline swamps. These trees are propped on cagey tangle roots that help withstand tidal waves and provide a rich habitat for many organisms such as fishes and crustaceans. Mangrove ecosystem conservation is important as it prevents coastline erosion, mitigates the effects of tides and tsunamis, and reduces atmospheric carbon. World Mangrove Day is celebrated on July 26th, which was adopted by UNESCO in the General Conference of 2015 to raise awareness about the crucial mangrove ecosystem. This day aims to promote the conservation and sustainable growth of mangrove forests. Mangrove forests are of significant ecological importance. The tangled roots of the mangrove forest act as a nursery for many organisms, protecting them from predators, strong heat, and forceful tides. Apart from supporting rich biodiversity, coastal forests remove 5 times more carbon dioxide than from the atmosphere than terrestrial forests. Over the last 40 years, the area covered by mangrove forest has almost halved. The major risk to mangrove forests is shrimp farming. A large part of the forest is uprooted to create a closed pond which is used for breeding shrimps. It involves excessive use of antibiotics and chemicals to prevent diseases and improve yield. Within years, the ecological balance of the forest is irreparably damaged. So the wood from these forests can be well coveted and solid and sold for large sums. It is also used for charcoal production. This leads to severe deforestation. Often rivers are diverted to make way for the roads and buildings or to supply water to farming fields. Since most mangrove forests are situated on estuaries, this is also a leading cause of disruption of mangrove habitat. The first fossil fuel of the mangrove tree dates back to 75 million years ago. The catastrophic flood that shakes many nations cannot touch a small village in India because of the protection endowed by its coastal forests, that is, mangroves, in 2004. That's the importance of mangrove. If we destroy our mangrove, we are making ourselves vulnerable to more such tsunamis even in future. That's why it's very much important to protect each and every mangrove in this world. Since 1980, more than one-fifth of the mangrove forest has been lost, owing to anthropogenic environmental changes. Since 2010, this day was adopted by UNESCO to raise awareness by UNESCO and protect mangrove forests on July 27, 2015. From 1918 to 1994, the mangrove area dwindled from 5 lakh hectares to 1,24,000 hectares. Many restoration processes have helped revive some of the areas. Currently, the spread of mangrove stands at 2,50,000 hectares. Mangroves produce oxygen. The ability to produce oxygen may vary with the species of the mango tree. So most mangrove fruits are bitter to taste. Mangrove apples are common edible fruit found in the mangrove forests. If you live close to a coastal line, you can choose to plant mangrove trees in your neighborhood seashore. Learn more about the suitable plant species that are adapted to your local climate and spend your day helping nature. Raise awareness about mangrove conservation in your community. Motivate people. Donate to volunteer for replantation and conservation activities. Mangrove reduces atmospheric carbon dioxide. It can be a key of preventing climate change. There are ways we can reduce pollution. It can be as simple as walking or biking to a nearby places rather than firing up your car engine. A village in Tamil Nadu, India has planted 80,244 plants around their village along the coastal line. And when the 2004 tsunami hit, the neighboring areas were flooded, but the village practically remained unscathed. So that's the power of mangroves, which protected a village even in tsunami. Sundarban in West Bengal, India is the largest mangrove forest in the world, and parts of the forest were declared by UNESCO a World Heritage, which is the largest mangrove forest in the world. The coastal forests are major blue carbon systems, converting atmospheric carbon dioxide into oceanic sediments, hence acting as a key environmental regulator. Mangrove trees survive under strenuous conditions that most timber cannot deal with this salty seawater by releasing the salt from the leaves and barks. Mangroves help fight coral bleaching as they provide shelter for coral species. Oxygen, food, clothes, the list is long. The reason to protect trees. We cannot continue our existence without trees. Conservation of mangrove trees is even more crucial because they harbor a plethora of fauna and can be a key to reducing global warming. Mangrove honey and silk can provide small-scale income to the neighboring communities without damaging the mangrove habitat. Fishes, crabs, and shrimps, when harvested sustainably, as a source of nourishment. Mangroves offer a comfortable habitat to young organisms. Fishes, even sharks, and crustaceans find the stills of mangrove forests quite homely. Today is also commemorated as World Tofu Day, which is annually observed on July 26 in the honor of a tofu, a plant-based alternative to meat that is manufactured from soya beans. Tofu has seen a surge in popularity as more people switch to a plant-based diet. For vegans and vegetarians, it is particularly appreciated and enjoyed because they can avoid eating meat, but still so much protein needed from it. Even if you are not a vegetarian, but if you are curious about tofu, Today is a good day to give it a try, and I'm sure you will never regret it. The Eastern Asian diet, which relies heavily on tofu, is a staple in many countries around the world. As important as dairy products like milk and cheese are to regular eaters, tofu is an indispensable part of every vegetarian diet. It may be newer in the West, but tofu dates back to 900 AD in Japan, where it is most popular. Tofu or bean curd in English has several different names in the Chinese and Japanese languages. The term tofu wasn't coined until 1800s when English translation of cookbooks began to appear. In the 1970s, the meat replacement gained widespread acceptance in the West. Cookbooks began to use tofu as an official designation. People who prefer to adopt vegetarian or vegan diet have grown to rely on tofu. It has become a classic meal and a nutritious alternative for them. Each Japanese province has its distinct method of producing tofu, reflected in the broad range of ways it is consumed. When soybean production is executed well, it is enjoyed by a large number of people. Tofu is one of the most versatile and nutritious foods available worldwide. National Tofu Day seeks to highlight the numerous ways tofu has influenced people around the world while giving them required nutrients. So, the first World Tofu Day is organized by the Society for Protection of Animals as a worldwide celebration in 2014. The Book of Tofu is published, introducing tofu to the Western world and promoting vegetarianism and veganism in 1975. Tofu gains popularity in Japan when it becomes more accessible to people besides the rich in 1803. The tofu production technique improves during the Nara period. The Japanese adopt tofu and find the right technique to make them firmer and tastier since 8th century. Silken tofu, which is made of purifying firm tofu to a silky paste, is used in variety of dishes to enhance the creaminess and texture. It can also be used in place of eggs. Regular tofu, often known as bean curd or Chinese style tofu, is much more widely available. If you are looking for all purpose tofu that can be sliced and cubed, extra firm tofu should be your go to. It can be used for pan frying, stir frying, baking, grilling, scrambling, and so on. Tofu can be cooked in a steamer, which is the simplest and healthiest method. Line the steamer basket with a paper or a cabbage leaf to keep the tofu from breaking apart. Think of tofu in a new light by introducing it into your meals. Tofu's adaptability implies that it can be cooked in a wide range of meals, will improve and enhance flavors. Hosting a gathering is a great way for the people to try tofu dishes. They can learn about the countries where tofu originated from too. Take it a step further by hosting a cooking competition. If it's a small gathering, the person who makes the best dish wins. There are five main types of tofu: silken, extra soft, medium, firm, and extra. Tofu in a mile, 1 mile is equal to 12,672 blocks of tofu laid end to end. Isoflavones, which are found in tofu, are known to lower the risk of cancer. It is also a cure for cancer. Tofu takes on the taste of whatever it is being cooked in. So making silken tofu perfect for custards, pies, and making your chocolate take moist. That's why, it is a very good alternative for meat eaters also. Because generally, meat will get the taste from the spices which are used to cook the meat. So instead of using meat and preferring tofu will help you as the tofu takes the taste, aroma of the spices, and it will be exactly as same as meat product. That's why it is more environment friendly, healthy, easily digestible, and very nutritious to our health. When frozen, tofu takes on a yellowish color, but it returns to original color once it thaws. So no need to worry if the color changes while freezing or storing. Automatically, when it is fried or thawed, it returns to its original color. So it is a healthy option to make tofu. Soya beans are separated into lumps and then pressed together again to form blocks. A good source of protein. Tofu is low in fat and carbs. It is made up of fewer saturated fats, a good source of iron, magnesium, manganese, selenium, and calcium, as well as vitamins and minerals. It's a versatile meal. Many people have tofu, and many people also believe tofu is tasteless, which makes them unwilling to try it. But that's why we mentioned whatever the dish goes in, tofu takes that taste. So you cannot eat tofu as it is because it is tasteless. But if you cook tofu in whatever meal you like, it takes the taste of that. So you can enjoy it. So whatever meal you want, you put it in biryani, it will take the taste of biryani. You put it in, masala curries or fried, it takes the taste of the masala, spices. So that's a versatile meal you'll get. You'll enjoy. Once you eat, you'll never again go for the meat, or again you'll not leave that dish. It's very good, no, because soya beans are very rich in proteins, minerals, and vitamins. So when cooked properly and flavored with the right ingredients, tofu is very delicious. It acts like a sponge, soaking up the flavors of whatever is cooked in. Tofu is a versatile ingredient that can be used in variety of dishes. From salty to sweet, it can be used to make cheese. So it's a low cost protein source. Do you know how much you have to invest to buy eggs or meat, even any form of meat? It's very costly. Now, 1 kg meat, how much it costs? Even 1 dozen of eggs. But when compared to buying them, so not everyone can afford. But tofu is even poor man's meat, in fact, an alternative plant based meat. And it will give you better health and more proteins than you consume dairy products and meat products. So, tofu is surprisingly affordable and relatively easy to make it from scratch, and more supermarkets, grocers, and Asian specialty shops carry tofu, and it's a great ingredient for large scale meals for a large number of people. So don't forget to try tofu. Even if it is not today, try for dinner, or you can order online. Nowadays there are many stores that deliver you in just few seconds or minutes. You can just place an order right now. You can buy any tofu, small quantity, and you can cook it for dinner and relish on this World Tofu Day, which is environmental friendly and animal cruelty free, and get lots of proteins. This week is also commemorated as Hepatitis Awareness Week from July 26 to August 1st, 2020. Hepatitis Awareness Week is observed from July 26 to August 1st, and it is a week dedicated to uniting the community and making sure that the voices of people suffering from hepatitis are heard by all. It is also a day to celebrate the progress made in the medicine for the infection. The viral hepatitis causes over 1 million deaths each year. Hepatitis can be both viral and non-viral. Non-viral hepatitis can be caused by medications, heavy alcohol intake, and toxins. It can also occur due to autoimmune diseases. Five viruses discovered between 1963 and 1989 were found to be cause of viral hepatitis worldwide, namely hepatitis A virus, hepatitis B virus, in short known as HBV, hepatitis C virus known as HCV, hepatitis delta virus, hepatitis E virus. So the first description of hepatitis A or jaundice epidemic is mentioned by Hippocrates. Hepatitis A outbreak of jaundice was reported in 17th and 18th century military campaigns. In the 1940s, hepatitis A was first differentiated from hepatitis B, which is reported to have a longer incubation period. The development of serologic tests, blood tests to detect the presence of antibodies and the identification of viruses helped in differentiation of hepatitis A from other types of hepatitis virus. Hepatitis B and hepatitis C cause over 80% of all liver cancer. Transmission of the hepatitis C virus is primarily through an exposure to the infected blood. Risks for transmission into intravenous drug use, high risk sexual activity, birth to an infected mother, etc. Almost every patient with hepatitis C eventually develops the antibody to HCV, but it can be low or almost undetectable in immunodeficient patients. In 1981, the FDA approved plasma derived hepatitis B vaccine for human use. And by 1986, second generation DNA recombinant hepatitis B vaccines were introduced. These new vaccines were synthetically prepared and they are completely approved in the US. This week is also commemorated as Love Parks Week from July 26 to August 2nd in UK, United Kingdom. Love Parks Week is celebrated from July 26 to 2nd this year. The goal of Love Parks Week is to get as many people as possible, young and old, out into the great outdoors to take advantage of their local park. A park is an excellent place to get some fresh air and boost your mental health. And you'll also be doing your part to preserve your local park's resources for generations by making regular use of them. So take a walk or walk your dog to your nearest park and appreciate its many benefits. Throughout history, civilization has used the land for different purposes other than agricultural ones. Parks were built for family enjoyment, exercise, hunting, the fine arts, and the celebration of the emperor's godlike status, among other purposes. Because of this, Renaissance villas in Italy and Europe from 15th to 17th centuries were based on these properties. Northern European park and garden designers paid homage to the Greek and Roman roots by incorporating statues from those cultures into their work. Persia's royal hunting preserves, which had been established over hundreds of square feet by the kings of Persia, evolved as riding trails and shelters were built into the landscape. Another sort of park developed from ancient Athens, open air public gathering spaces where functions of an exercise ground, a social concourse, and an athlete's training ground were merged with features of a sculpture gallery and religious center. To partake in royal hunting parties, ancient Assyria establishes parks in 9th century BC. The first meeting of the voluntary standing committee on national parks is held on May 26 to make the case to the government for UK national parks in 1936 AD. The National Parks and the Access to the Countryside Act govern the parks in the United Kingdom's English and Welsh provinces in 1949. The National Parks Act governs Scotland's national parks in 2000. So the government of a country designates a specific region as national park for the protection of the natural environment. A national park can be established for recreational or historical objectives, as well as for scientific or historical goals. Parks help to provide locations for individuals on the community to come outside and be healthy, thereby encouraging them to live better lifestyle. Research indicates that the parks can reduce crime, promote psychological well-being, relieve stress, boost immunity, increase efficiency, and promote healing. The favorable impacts on people's well-being, especially in densely populated environments, cannot be overstated. Today is also commemorated as Auntie's Day. The world celebrates Auntie's Day every year on July 26th. Melanie Notkin, the founder of Savvy Auntie, created this day to commemorate and celebrate the relationship between aunts and their nephews and nieces. The day honors women who are aunties by relation and aunties by choice. It includes all the people who have aunt like relationships with their friends' children and even godmothers. These women nurture, inspire, and love the children around them, impacting their lives. Today is also commemorated as Darwin Show Day in Australia. Comes up every last Friday on or second to last Friday on July 26th this year. This day is a showcase of special talents, foods, animal shows, music, culture, along with other entertainment and competitions. This celebration has been going on for 70 years. This day is organized and run by Royal Agricultural Society. It is hosted at the Darwin Showground and Exhibition Centre in Winnilee, the capital of Northern Territory, Australia. This day runs for 3 days from Thursday to Saturday, but it's Friday that is the highlight. Today is also commemorated as Holistic Therapy Day, which is celebrated on July 26th each year. Holistic therapy treats the human body as synergy of mind, body, and soul. It aims to bring a harmonious balance among all the elements of the being. Unlike modern medicine, it does not treat an ailment or disease as an isolated problem. Holistic therapy believes every being is an amalgamation of their physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual aspects. So recommends a comprehensive treatment that works towards nurturing all of them. Holistic therapy supports that an imbalance in one aspect of the self can cause distress in another. For instance, prolonged mental stress has the potential to transform into physical sickness, and hence it aims to heal holistically rather than palliatively. So, the practice of holistic therapy extends beyond the therapy room, a self care practice that centers and nurtures all our senses, falls under the umbrella of holistic therapy. Hippocrates, the father of medicine, believed that our body holds the ability to heal itself. We, he envisioned that the greatest medicine would be ability to heal without medicine. Holistic therapy has stemmed from this 2000-year-old idea. Even today, before starting any holistic practice, a mutual goal is set to the caregiver and the patient. Once they can achieve this goal, the person can continue on their healing journey independently. The practice of symptom-based treatment rocketed in 1970 when the pharmaceutical industry boomed. Consequently, due to lack of empirical evidence, holistic therapy was shunned as an alternative medicine. But in recent years, there have been a shift in how people view holistic therapy. Medical practitioners have started acknowledging the power of holistic approach. There is a growing awareness of the mind body connection. More and more people are engaging in activities that help balance the energy centers or chakras of their bodies. People are moving away from fitness and moving towards well being. History offers abundant evidence that supports this emerging knowledge. Ayurveda and ancient Indian medicine aim to heal the energy of the body while treating physical ailments, while the Chinese traditional methods visualize the body as a small universe with interconnected systems and energies. Yoga and Tai Chi are some holistic practices that emerge from the ancient teachings and continue to be part and practiced well among people today. Holistic therapy involves practices such as meditation, yoga, massage, aromatherapy, sound therapy, breathwork, acupressure, Reiki, and many more. Integrated holistic therapy involves a mix of these holistic practices. Today is also commemorated as Liberia Independence Day in Liberia, which is commemorated on July 26th every year by the African Republic of Liberia. Formerly a United States colony, the country was founded in 1822 as a haven to the house and settle free African American slaves. Liberia became the first African republic to declare independence after adopting its constitution in 1847. Liberia has had a turbulent history since then, which has hampered its progress as a nation. Consistent growth in the country's political and economic structures, on the other hand, has sparked hope for the future. Today is also commemorated as Maldives Independence Day, which is marked on July 26th annually. This day commemorates the independence of Maldives, a beautiful country with unique picturesque beaches from the British Empire after spending 77 years as a protectorate. The National Cadet Corps and performances by colorfully costumed school children are among the attractions of occasion. There is also flag hosting ceremony. It is a public holiday and allowing most Maldivians to celebrate at home with their loved ones rather than going to work or school. Today is also commemorated as National Aunt and Uncle Day in US. Our aunts and uncles are unique parts of our family. They can be like a second set of parents or great friends you happen to be related to. Often they've watched us grow up and are full of stories about things we did in our youth. We might not even remember. July is a great month for a cookout or outdoor activities. Call up your aunts and uncles and ask them to come out and celebrate their special place in your life. Today is also commemorated as System Administrator Appreciation Day in US, which is commemorated on last Friday of July on 26th July. This year celebrates the professionals who are working round the clock in order to keep our virtual world running. System administrators are people who take care of installing, troubleshooting anything and everything related to IT. They also keep up with the regular technological advancements, upgrading related to IT. These IT professionals, having learned from experience, allows companies, both small and big, to reach out to their target audience without any technical issues. This is why the job of a system administrator is indispensable. You can show your appreciation for the IT professionals by throwing them a party and or doing their bidding for a day. Today is also commemorated as National Rebellion Day in Cuba in the honor of movement launched by Cuban rebel leader, former Prime Minister Fidel Castro. The day is marked with a traditional rally that stretches from It is also commemorated as National Dog Photography Day in UK, which is celebrated on July 26th every year, aims to encourage dog owners, pet enthusiasts, photography enthusiasts, and all dog lovers to post as many photos of their dogs guilt-free. United States has the highest pet dog population in the world. The United States among all the countries with approximately 75.8 million pets, dogs. This relatively new day has become a sensation as pet parents across the globe showcase their beloved pets on this day. Today is also commemorated as National Disability Independence Day in US, which is celebrated every year on July 26th. It commemorates the signing of the Americans with Disability Act, ADA, in 1990. This civil rights law criminalizes any kind of discrimination against individuals when disabilities assures them full participation in the community, independent living, and economic self-sufficiency. The Americans with Disability Act covers the following areas: public accommodation, employment, transportation, and state and local government services. ADA is a life-changing act for many people. Today, 1 in 4 Americans with a disability can access and participate better in their workplaces and general communities. Today is also commemorated as National Coffee Milkshake Day in US, which is a drink, a cool beverage that will really hit spot. It's hot, you love ice cream, and you can use a caffeinated sugary boost. To your rescue comes the delicious coffee milkshake, a product of sheer human culinary ingenuity. National Coffee Milkshake Day encourages you to enjoy a good coffee milkshake mixed with your favorite ice cream and coffee flavors and discover the taste of summer. Today is also commemorated as National Bagel Fest Day in US to recognize the scrumptious bread that is light and tasty. Not everyone likes the mass-produced bread available at stores and would rather resort to a fresh bagel baked at a bakery. The bagel is the only bread that is boiled before being baked. So, well, it's fact like this and more that National Breakfast Day. All you need is empty stomach and an endless interest in bagels. So with this, we shall end today's commemorations. We request everyone to quickly fill the registration form so that we can launch the feedback form. So this year we are commemorating 8th anniversary of International Day of Conservation of Mangrove Ecosystem. So let's observe a minute of silence before we conclude. For the global peace, harmony, and in this silence, let's pray and meditate for the global peace, harmony, and well-being. See you all tomorrow. Take care. Good night.